Good morning, students. So, from today, we are going to start a second chapter, the components of food. So, you all know that we eat different types of vegetables, fruits, cereals, and pulses. We all eat food to obtain energy for our daily activities. There are different types of components which are present in the food, and each of these components is required for our body to perform different cellular activities, and these components are known as the nutrients. These are the nutrients. So there are some of the major nutrients present in the food, and those are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals. These are the main nutrients which are present in the food. So first of all, we are having the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are nothing but the starch which is present in our food. And starch is what? The sticky substance. You must have seen while you boil the potato, rice, oats, or other cereals, you feel a sticky material in that. That is nothing but the carbohydrate itself. So here in this picture you can see some of the carbohydrates which we use in our daily life. The second nutrient which is really very important for you is the proteins. Proteins are mainly present in the milk, fish, meat, eggs, and many other materials. So for the students, for children like you which are right now in the growing age, these proteins are really very needful and helpful for your growth and development. That's why these proteins are also known as the bodybuilding food, because they are building up your body. These are really very important for your growth. If you don't take proper amount of protein, then your development or the growth can be hindered. Next important nutrient which is present here is the fat. Fats are high energy nutrients. They are needed in a moderate amount by the body. You cannot take the amount of fat as much as you want. You have to take in a limited amount. And do you know that fats provide about double the amount of energy which is provided by the carbohydrates. So these are the reserved food materials of our body. Reserved food materials means when you are not eating for say 1 or 2 days. So where will that energy come from for you to do the work? So that energy will come from the reserved fat. Reserved fat which is already present in your body, and you can take the fats from some of the food items, for example oil, ghee, egg yolk, milk, butter. So these food items are really very important for emergency purposes. For example, if anyone doesn't get to eat for 1 or 2 days, so his body can fulfill the energy by the use of the fats which is reserved in the body. The next nutrient which is really very important for our body to maintain normal health and development, and this is called the vitamins. These are essential in small amounts, and these help in protecting our body against diseases. So if you are taking proper amount of vitamins in form of some supplement or even in your diet, so it helps in keeping your eyes, bones, and teeth healthy. So the different types of vitamins are vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. There are many other types of vitamins also, and their functions are immensely useful. For example, vitamin A keeps eyes and skin healthy. Vitamin B1 helps the body to use energy from the food we eat. Vitamin C helps to heal the wounds, maintains healthy gums and blood vessels, and it also fights the infections. Vitamin D keeps teeth and bones healthy. Vitamin E maintains the healthy skin and hair. It also slows down aging, and it is a powerful antioxidant. Now comes the vitamin K, which helps to in the blood clotting, and it also helps in the bone healing and body repair. So there are the various functions of vitamins which cannot be ignored, and you have to take vitamins in proper amount regularly. The next nutrient which is really very important for our body is the minerals. So these are needed by our body in small amounts, and the minerals are really very essential for the proper growth of the body and for maintaining a good health. Some of the important minerals are calcium, iodine, phosphorus and iron. The next nutrient are the dietary fibers, and we can also call it just the fibers. You must have heard from your mother also that eat this food, it contains a lot of fiber. So what actually the fibers are? Fibers are the materials that add bulk to the food. Bulk means an extra amount. So these fibers add some extra amount to the food, and humans, but one thing is also important, that humans cannot use fibers as a nutrient, but they help in the easy movement of the food along the digestive system. For example, if you have eaten some heavy food and after that you are taking some fiber providing food, for example the fresh fruits, so it will help you in the digestion also. For the proper digestion, these dietary fibers are important. Moving forward, did you know that water also comes in one of the major nutrients of our food? You cannot deny the fact that water is really very essential for the proper functioning of our body. It helps in throwing out some waste from the body as urine and sweat. So it is essential for you to sweat and urinate properly. It will show that you are taking proper amount of water, the amount of water which is being needed by your body. We get most of the water that our body needs from drinks like water, tea, milk, etc. We get water from the fruits also, such as lemon and watermelon. So it helps in maintaining the temperature of your body. So if you are not taking the proper amount of water in a day, it can hinder in the temperature maintenance of your body. About 10 to 12 glasses of water you should take every day, and it is really very essential. You cannot ignore this. Next, we are having the next nutrient we have. The next topic we are having is the balanced diet. You must have heard that before also, but this topic has been introduced in our syllabus in class 6th only. So a balanced diet is nothing but a diet that has all the necessary nutrients in the amount that is needed for normal body functioning. So if you are taking all the nutrients, for example the fats, proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, all in the proper amount, no, nothing less and nothing more, so you are taking a balanced diet and your body will function properly if you take that. Now after this, we are having here some important points which have to be noted for the proper health of our body. So first point we are having is that eating the right kind of food is not enough. You have to cook the food properly so that its nutrients are not lost, and the food should not be overcooked. Overcooked means if you are cooking the food beneath its limit, so the nutrients which are present in the food, for example the proteins, carbohydrates or the minerals, will be lost. And on the other hand, the food should not be undercooked. Undercooked means if you are cooking the food for a very short time, by which what can happen that the germs and the other bacteria which are present in the food will not get killed, and you can have several diseases. Second important point is that we should wash vegetables before cutting and peeling them to prevent the loss of the nutrients. So this is also important. The next topic we are having is obesity. Obesity is being observed in a large part of the population are nowadays. This is because most of the people are doing the work or just sitting all the day. They are not doing much physical activity, and due to this what happens that the all the food which has been eaten by them and is being converted into energy, that energy is not being used, that all the nutrients are being stored as a fat, and due to that the obesity occurs. There is a quote also, if you don't somehow stem the tide of childhood obesity, we are going to have a huge problem. It means that if you are a child and if you are not doing much physical activity, you are just sitting at your home and playing video games, mobile games, sitting at the front of your laptop, computer, and not doing the physical activity, you are not going outside to play, it will lead to the obesity in you. So it is really important that for your future to be fine, you have to do the physical activities or the exercises and other physical work, so that you cannot suffer from the obesity. In obesity, a person becomes really very fat and faces the problem in doing the physical work. So to prevent obesity, besides doing the physical work and the exercises, you have to you have to deny eating some of the particular things. For example, a lot of sweets, lot of junk food. You don't have to rest much at your home playing all the day video games and all the stuff, and stop having the unhealthy drinks. These all things lead to the obesity in the children nowadays. Now, our next topic is the deficiency diseases. Deficiency means lack, and lack means if you are not taking proper amount of something, it will lead to the lack of that thing. So, in the regard of this chapter, deficiency disease means the lack of carbohydrates, proteins, fat, vitamins, and minerals in the diet, which causes various diseases. And these diseases are caused due to the lack of nutrients in our diet, which are called the deficiency diseases. These cannot be transmitted from one person to another. For example, if one person is having the deficiency of vitamin A and he is having some disease, it will not get transmitted to the other person, because the first person is having the lack of the vitamin A, not the second person. So it cannot be transmitted from one person to another. So to prevent the deficiency diseases, proper amount of nutrients should be taken. First one, deficiency of carbohydrates. What will happen if you will not take the proper amount of carbs? For example, rice, chapati and potato, etc. What will happen that it will result in the lack of energy and stamina in your body. You will not be able to do the work, do the physical activities and exercises. You will feel lethargic all the time because you have taken less amount of carbohydrates. So this is the result of the deficiency of carbohydrates. Second one we are having is the deficiency of protein. As I have told you earlier also, that proteins are important for the development and growth of a growing child, and the proper amount of protein is really very essential for a child to grow properly. So the lack of protein in the diet weakens the muscles also. Your muscles and your bones will not be able to grow properly and your growth will be hindered. So here we have a table in which you will get to know about the deficiency diseases which arise from the deficiency of various vitamins and minerals. So first of all is the deficiency of vitamin A, which can lead to the loss of vision. And what are the symptoms of this disease? Is that you will have a poor vision, you will not be able to see clearly, the loss of vision in darkness. It means if you know that if there is dark but still our eyes are able to see enough of the things properly, but if you have a deficiency of vitamin A and you are not able to see a slightest of the light, it means that you are having the deficiency of vitamin A, and it can also lead to the loss of complete vision. So now you know that why vitamin A is important in a diet. Second one is the deficiency of vitamin B1, which can cause beriberi. The symptoms of this disease are it weakens the muscles and very less energy to work. Your body has very less energy to work. You will not be able to like you will not be able to tolerate much physical work on your body. The third is a vitamin C, whose deficiency can lead to the scurvy. And what are the symptoms of scurvy? That you have the bleeding gums, wounds take longer time to heal. You know that whenever we get the wounds, they generally get healed in a day, in some days. But if you have the deficiency of vitamin C, your wounds will take longer than the normal. So this is the symptoms of vitamin C. Next is the vitamin D, whose deficiency can cause the rickets. And what are rickets? What are the symptoms of rickets? Its symptoms are that the bones become soft and bent and also fragile. Fragile means they become so weak, so delicate that uh, it is mostly there is a chance of the damage to your bones. Next deficiency disease which causes due to the deficiency of calcium are the bone and the tooth decay. What happens in the bone and tooth decay? That it weaks the bones and it leads to the tooth decay. Means if it is generally necessary for the age of yours, the age in which you are having right now, in this age the proper amount of calcium is very important, because generally we see the tooth decay in the children only. Next we have the deficiency of iodine, which can cause the goiter. And what happens in goiter? That the glands in the neck appear swollen. There are some glands in your neck which are responsible for the formation of the iodine in your body. But if you have the deficiency of iodine, then what will happen? That your neck will become swollen, and it also leads to the mental instability in the children. The mental disability also is also caused by the deficiency of iodine. Next nutrient we are having is the iron, and whose deficiency causes the anemia. Anemia means the hemoglobin in your blood. Hemoglobin means the amount of iron in your blood goes very down, and it can lead to the weakness. Also the other diseases can uh, uh, attack you really quickly. Next topic we are having is the test for some of the major nutrients in our food. You can test if the particular nutrient is present in your food or not by some simple tests. First of all we have is the test for the protein. For example, I take milk. Milk has almost all the nutrients in it. So I have taken milk, and what did I do? I just put some amount of copper sulfate and caustic soda. Caustic soda is nothing but sodium hydroxide. It is the sodium hydroxide about which you will get to know in your later classes. So what did I do? I put milk plus copper sulfate plus sodium hydroxide. After these three react, what will happen? That the color changes to purple. The resulting solution will change its color to purple, and which will confirm the presence of protein in a food item. It means that protein is present in the milk. So this is the simple way in which you can test for the presence of protein in your food. For example, here you can see a boy testing for the presence of protein. He has taken a bottle of caustic soda, that is sodium hydroxide, and copper sulfate, and he is putting both of these things in the nutrient which in the food item which he has taken in the test tube. And after, if the protein is present in his food item, the resulting solution will convert into the purple color. So this will confirm the presence of the protein. Next test which we can do is for the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, we call it the starch also. I have told you that starch is the sticky substance which are present in many of the food items. For example, the rice, potato, oats. In these food items, starch is present. So to test the presence of starch, what you have to do is that you have to put a few drops of dilute iodine in the food item you are taking. For example, I have taken mashed rice. in a test tube, and in that mashed rice I have put some drops of the iodine solution. Now what will happen that the color of the iodine solution will turn from brown to blue black. Iodine solution initially will be of brown color, and after putting that iodine solution in the food items, it will convert into blue black. So the conversion of color will confirm the presence of starch or carbohydrate in a food item. For example, here these two students are performing this activity. They are putting the iodine solution in some pieces of the potato. Potato has the starch, you know that very well. So they are doing the test on the potato. So what will happen that the brown color of the iodine will convert into the blue black. So by doing this, the confirmation of the starch will be done in your food item. So this is the complete chapter explanation. You have to try to understand every term which has come in this video, and if you have any doubt, you can ask without any hesitation.